Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Nick Tan Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode, we'll be taking a look at Eclipse by D. Christopher and the 1914. So hi guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for spending time with me. So if you have been following my channel for any amount of time up till this point, you will know that I really like the 1914. I love their branding, I love their style. I also love the products that they've released. And I've done quite a number of review videos for their line of products as well. I first started with the Shadow Wallet from D. Christopher. Then there was Thy Will Be Done by Alexander Marsh. And also, most recently, Iris from Laval. So today will be my fourth 1914 episode, and this is for Eclipse. Okay, so what is Eclipse? Well, Eclipse is an ESP deck. And well, this isn't my first ESP deck, okay, because if you have watched a previous episode I did for Paul Canazzo's Travel ESP, in that episode I actually listed out all the previous ESP decks that I have and that I have used. So while this is another ESP deck to add to my collection, I strongly suspect that this will not be just something that I collect, and it will be something that I will actually use. So what do you get when you purchase Eclipse? Well, in the 1914's signature trademark beautiful packaging, okay, it comes in this lovely looking box. So inside the box, you will get obviously the ESP deck. First of all, let's talk about the box. Now, when I first saw that the box was just a simple jet black box, I was really pleased. It doesn't have any design that makes it look like, a deck of playing cards, or, it doesn't have that kind of design that says some kind of research facility or something like that. In fact, previously, I actually had to make up my own black box. Okay, this is one that I've used for quite some time. I actually made this out of thick black cardboard for another deck of ESP cards that I was using at one time. So the fact that now I have one that is like professionally made, I'm just really happy about that. Alright, and inside the box, you will get obviously the cards. On top of the standard 25 ESP cards, you will also receive a couple of other things. You'll get one of these cards. This is a card that will be used for the ESP opener routine. Okay, so you get one of that. You will get two gaffed cards, okay, two of these. And also you will get one more DB as well. And then of course you will get the deck. Now the first thing you're going to notice, or the first thing that you should know rather, is that the cards are not cardstock. Okay, they're not made of cardstock. They are actually made of like a plastic kind of a material, okay, which I really like. Over the past two years or so, I've actually picked up some other props that that are made of like plastic kind of a material for when it comes to cards. But this one is just nice, okay, because previously some of the products that I've had, some of the plastic that is used, it's just too thin, and then some are like too thick. They're almost like credit card type of material. So some are too thick, some are too thin, but this one is just nice. They handle really well, and you can even make their thought of symbol magically turn face up, just like that. Don't do that. Alright, because they are made of like a plastic material, you don't have to worry about the cards getting damaged. They are going to last you really long. And even if a table is like damp at a restaurant, for example, you can confidently just place the cards down and perform with the cards with no worries at all about any kind of liquids that are going to damage the cards. In fact, the cards are going to last much longer than the box. Okay, so this is going to outlive the box, definitely. In fact, DE might want to consider sending me some replacement boxes after a while. Okay, so that is the physical part of the cards themselves, okay, the plastic kind of feature. Let's talk a bit about the faces. The faces of the cards, more or less standard, I think. You have the five symbols, the circle, the plus sign, the wavy lines, the square, and of course the star. I think for most of the ESP decks that I've had over the years, the circle, the cross, the square, and the star have been quite consistent. The only one that seems to keep changing, right, is the wavy lines. Okay, in fact, in previous decks that I've had, the design of the lines seems to keep changing. All right, so this is one that is like that. There is another one that's like that. The one from Eclipse looks like this. Okay, so I think well, it's slightly neater. It has a more modern look to it, I suppose. But other than that, the faces are really nice, really sharp, really crisp printing, and they are the kind of printing that won't, like, you know, scratch off or like peel off after a while. Okay, they are really well done. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the back design. Okay, now not about the marks. Okay, I will talk about the marks in just a while. Okay, as you can see, it's a very nice looking, simple design, just plain white. With lines going around the card. It doesn't have that kind of, you know, all-round back design that is like fully printed, or neither does it have that kind of, you know, back design that makes it look like a playing card, you know, with the white border going around. It's just, you know, very simplistic, very modern looking, which I quite like. And, you know, because of the way, you know, it's so simple looking, okay, it really seems, you know, improbable that any kind of marking system can be put into the design, and lay people will probably find that this looks really innocent, but well, it holds a deadly secret. So I had a brief chat with Dee over on Instagram, okay, and during that time, sometime in August, I think, he shared with me that video, you know, that video of his where he's like walking so far away with his back turned and still able to read the marks on the cards, right? Now, had he not told me at the time that he was reading marks on the cards and that this was a project for, you know, marked ESP cards, just watching that video demonstration alone, I could have sworn that it was probably an electronic method of some kind. It just looks so impossible and so impressive. So most of you are going to be interested in the marking system for this deck. I'm going to talk about the marking system for use in close-up first, because this is a marking system that you can use close-up as well as, you know, that very long distance kind of a reading. Now, for me personally, I suspect that I would probably just use it for, you know, that kind of close-up kind of a setting. And for the way I use ESP cards in a close-up environment, these marks are incredible. Because you see, all you need is literally just a glance at the back of the card. Okay, it's just so fast. Okay, for example, okay, I'm just going to cut the cards like that randomly, and I'm going to let my eyes just dart down to the back of the card just for a split second. Okay, just watch this. It literally just looks like that, and I can tell you that this is the wavy lines. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, let's cut the cards randomly. Again, I will just let my eyes dart down just like that. I can tell you that this is the circle. Okay, circle. Just do one more because it's so fun. We'll just cut the cards like that. Again, I let my eyes just dart down and I tell you that this is the plus. So I really love this system for close-up use, you know, because it no longer has to be like, you know, they lay a card down on the table and then you have to like kind of... So, you have laid this card onto the table and this was a random choice, yes? It doesn't have to be that anymore. It can literally be they lay the card down on the table, you just turn around and say, that's the one you want, correct? Okay, good. And you're done. You know that that's a circle. So the marks for close-up, you can read it literally in like less than a second. And that is not an exaggeration, all right? You can literally just let your eyes dart down for a split second and you know the card. Now, let's talk a bit about the long-distance reading feature of the marks, okay? When I first knew about the marking system, I was quite doubtful, you know, I was skeptical, all right, that I would be able to do it. Because, you know, in the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, you know, my eyes have started to deteriorate. In the past 2 to 3 years, my eyes have started to deteriorate. In the past 2 to 3 years, I found that my eyes have gotten worse. Okay, and so I've not been able to like read really small text, okay, really easily, you know, as easily as before. So I was quite doubtful that I would be able to, you know, catch the markings from a distance. And then I tried it out and I was so impressed that I could do it. Dee can probably get more, you know, distance than me, you know, it is his system after all. But I can place a card down, turn away and walk like, I don't know, 8 or 10 paces away, turn back around, and I will still be able to spot the card. So that is, you know, easily like from across the room already. I will tell you, however, that long distance reading of the marks is not something that you're going to get like immediately, okay? I mean, in my experience at least, okay, it wasn't something that I could get immediately. I had to just kind of work my way back, all right, and build that distance slowly. So it is something that you kind of have to kind of get used to and practice a little bit before you can get really comfortable with the method. So obviously I cannot explain to you the marking system for Eclipse, okay, but I think I can tell you the reason, okay, why you're able to, in a close-up environment, spot the marks so fast, and also why you're able to read the marks from a distance as well. Okay, here's the reason. You see, Eclipse does not use a marking system that requires you, okay, your eyes, to focus. You see, the thing is, for most of us, when we're using marks of any kind, okay, for playing cards, for envelopes, you know, or any number of things that you use marks for, if we have problems, all right, it's always because of two reasons. Number one, we have to, first of all, spot where the marks are, okay, especially if you're using a kind of, you know, positional kind of a system. And then number two, you have to let your eyes focus on the mark in order to read it. And Eclipse does not use a marking system that requires your eyes to read. Which is why in a close-up environment, the read is so fast, okay, because your eyes don't need the time to focus on the mark, okay? And that is why you can literally just do that and you know that this is the plus. This is so fun. Now, because the marks don't require your eyes to focus, this also means that you can read the cards from a distance. Because you know from a distance, right, obviously it is impossible for your eyes to like focus on information that is so small. That is why you can read it from a distance, because you don't need your eyes to focus on anything. You can just look at the card, and it's not so much of like a reading thing. The one that you do from a distance is more of a feeling. Okay, it's really hard to describe, but once you get the cards, you will understand what I mean. You're literally just feeling what the card is, okay? I can't wait for you guys to try this out, okay? When you get your deck, do try it out. I promise you, you will feel like you have a superpower of some kind. Okay, but all things considered, I'm really impressed by the marking system for Eclipse. One thing that I should mention, okay, well, it's just my experience of it, okay, you may have different results. I find the marks easier, all right, especially if you're doing the long distance version. The more face on you are to the card, the easier it is. Okay, so if the card is kind of like angled like this from your perspective, it gets a little bit tricky. Okay, so as long as you're able to manage your spectator or manage the environment so that you know, the cards are held like that to you, face on to you, then you should have no problems you know, spotting the marks. Now, just the deck alone, all right, to me would have been worth the money already. Okay, but on top of that, you will also get a link to a whole bunch of video tutorials as well. And the videos are really well done, really well shot. There's a lot of content on it. It's presented to you by D. Christopher and Louis Laval. D. Christopher will take you through everything you need to know about the deck. He goes through everything in great detail. Okay, but there are a couple of videos there on the site, okay? There's an intro video, he tells you what you get as well. He teaches you the marks, and then, you know, D will teach you a whole bunch of really strong routines that you can perform with your Eclipse deck. There is an ESP opener effect, where a spectator is asked to just choose any one of the symbols, and you show that you have, you know, correctly predicted that symbol in advance. There is a sensor routine. This is basically a seeing with the fingertips kind of a presentation. There is a routine called Gambit, where, you know, you lay the 5 ESP cards onto the table. The spectator drops an envelope onto one of the cards and you show that, you know, you have predicted that in advance. And also, you have predicted the serial number of a bill that was borrowed right at the start of the routine as well. And then there is a routine called Distance, okay, where from a distance, he tells them what cards they are holding. This routine obviously just really exploits the long distance reading feature of the Eclipse deck. But you know, because of the sheer distance that you're performing it from, I think it can be a really impressive demonstration. And then we get to my favorite part of the whole video as well, Louis Laval's section, where he teaches you 2 routines that he performs with the Eclipse deck. One is a kind of like an ESP matchup routine that ties in like readings and stuff. And also there is a routine, like a kind of like a psychometry muscle reading routine as well. I really love how Louis Laval gets so much out of so little. I think he's really great at, you know, getting a lot of mileage out of simple methods, alright, which I really like. The work is over long before anybody knows anything has happened, and then that leaves you the freedom to just really perform and deliver the effect. There is an outro section as well, where D will teach you how to set up the whole act, okay? Because that's what this really is, okay? It's a whole act that you can do from start to finish with the Eclipse deck. Okay, the videos were a joy to watch. Okay, I found them really enjoyable to work through. I think Dee and Lewis have a kind of really fun chemistry. So it was really fun to watch the two of them bantering and discussing the Eclipse deck. So the question is, should you get it, right? Well, if you enjoy working with ESP cards, okay, if you like performing with them, I can only highly recommend the Eclipse deck to you. Really well made, really high quality cards, excellent teaching, and also of course the incredible marking system that allows you to just look at it like that and you can know that this is a square, okay? All things considered, I guess I highly recommend it. I like it a lot. Of course, do get the opinions of others as well. Alright, this has been reviewed by the big boys, okay? Steve over at Real Magic Review and also David at Magic Orthodoxy as well have covered the Eclipse deck as well. So do head on over to their channels and check out their review of Eclipse so that you can get, a more all-rounded picture of what it is you're getting. If you are interested to pick up Eclipse for yourself, I will leave the link in the description box down below. And before I go, alright, if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot to me. It really helps motivate me and keeps me going to continue to put out these videos for you on YouTube. And if you're not yet a subscriber to the channel, and if you have gotten value out of today's video and any of my videos, please subscribe to the channel, give me your support, and I will do my best to continue putting out these videos for you on YouTube. So till next time, okay, take care of yourselves, enjoy your magic, and I will see you again on a future episode of Nique Tan Chats. Circle.